Vanakkam friends, and this video is in continuation of the previous video, that is powering the plant life cycle by plant hormones and the nutrients. And this is only objective type of questions, and the is your exam, and this is for your examination purpose. uh, that to the competitive examination purposes. And the question and answers, the objective type of question and answers for plant reproduction only. We have already seen the plant growth and development aspect. This is with special reference to reproductive biology, including the seed development and dormancy, germination, so on and so forth. And we have 6 types of questions: multiple choice questions, one word answer questions, true or false, fill in the blanks, matching type, and short answers. And each section is having 10 questions. Regarding the multiple choice questions, I'm not going to read all the options, but I only read the question as well as the correct answer. Which nutrient is essential for pollen tube growth? Calcium. That is the correct answer. Which hormone promotes seed dormancy? Promotes means it induces dormancy is abscisic acid. That is the correct answer. Who discovered ethylene as a plant hormone? And the scientist Neljubo, he discovered the ethylene hormone. Which micronutrient is important for pollen viability? That is the boron is the correct answer. Gibberellins were first discovered from which organisms? That is, isolated from a fungus, namely Gibberella fujicoria. Next question, which nutrient is a part of ATP, that's energy production, that will be important for flowering? Thus, phosphorus is the correct answer. The hormone responsible for fruit ripening is ethylene, correct answer. Florigen is associated which function? That is related to the flowering, that is the correct answer. Which scientist isolated auxin from oat coleoptile? It was first isolated from coleoptile of oat crop. The scientist responsible for this is Wendt. That is the correct answer. The last question, ABA was independently discovered by Descartes and Waring. Both scientists discovered ABA. That's all about multiple choice questions. Next, we will pass on to the one word question and answer. I will read one by one as well as the correct answer. The hormone responsible for seed dormancy is abscisic acid. Which nutrient is vital for fruit and seed development? Phosphorus is the correct answer. The name of the scientist who discovered phototropism is Charles Darwin. Which plant hormone promotes flowering in long day plants? Is gibberellin. Which gas acts as a plant hormone for fruit ripening? Ethylene, correct answer. Who discovered cytokinin from tobacco pith? The scientist responsible for discovery of the element the discovery of cytokinin is Skook. Eighth question, name the element that enhances root and shoot growth. Potassium is the correct answer. Which hormone delays senescence and promotes cell division? Answer is cytokinin. Who is father of plant nutrition? The answer is Justus von Liebig. That's all about one word answer. Next, let us discuss about the statement whether it is true or false. Gibberellins promote seed dormancy. That is a false statement. Gibberellin is responsible for the seed germination. It triggers the production of enzymes. Phosphorus is important for ATP production. That is a true statement. Ethylene inhibits flowering in all plants. That is not the correct. It's a false statement. Boron deficiency affects pollination and fruits. Yes, it affects. That is a true. Abscisic acid promotes tomato opening. No, it is a false statement. Auxin were first discovered by Charles Darwin. It's a true. Zinc help in auxin synthesis. That is also true statement. Cytokinin promote aging in plants. False statement. That is responsible for only the cell division. Calcium is necessary for cell wall formation. It is exactly true. Potassium helps to regulate water in plants. That is also a true statement. So the fourth part is fill in the blanks. And we have also about 10 questions. DAS is the hormone responsible for seed dormancy is abscisic acid. It's mostly frequently asked questions. That's what it is being repeated. DAS is the nutrient essential for energy transfer. That is also frequently asked question. Phosphorus. DAS discovered ethylene as a plant hormone. Neljubo. That is the correct answer. Boron plays an important role in DAS formation. That is pollen formation. Correct answer. The plant hormone that promotes flowering in long day plants is gibberellin. That is also frequently asked questions. DAS is nutrient for pollen tube growth. Calcium. Frequently asked questions. Cytokinin are responsible for cell division and DAS development, embryo development. Is the gas that regulates fruit ripening, ethylene. That is also a frequently asked question. Justus von Liebig is known as the father of plant nutrition. That is the correct answer. Correct fill up. Auxin were isolated from what coleoptiles by Wendt. That is the correct scientist. Then we have the part 5, matching type. We have two sets, and first set we will see. The first column, I have listed about 5 questions, and in the second column, column B, and the answer is being given. That is not against each question. So the auxin is responsible for cell elongation. That is the correct match. Gibberellins, that is used for flowering in long day plants. That is the correct match. Cytokinin is responsible for cell division. That is the correct match. Ethylene is used for fruit ripening of fruits. That is the correct match. Abscisic acid is responsible for induction of seed dormancy. That is the correct match. The second set, here also I have given 5 questions in column 7, that is listed out in column A, and column B the answer is being listed out. and this phosphorus is responsible for ATP formation. That is the correct match. Potassium, that regulates water regulation. That is also a correct match. Calcium is responsible for pollen tube growth. Boron, pollen germination is the boron is used. It promotes the pollen germination. That is the correct match. Zinc is involved in auxin synthesis. Here, the matching answers are being given directly against each question, and this is also another trick by the examiner. And the part 6 short answer question, here also there are about 10 short questions. What is the role of abscisic acid in seed dormancy? It induces dormancy and prevents premature germination, where the viviparous germination occurs, like the example is classical example is groundnut and the jackfruits. The second question, name two micronutrients essential for flowering and pollination. Zinc is responsible for flowering and boron is responsible for pollination. Who first discovered isolated auxin and from which plant? Went from oat crop. The part is coleoptile of oat. What role does calcium play in plant reproduction? It promotes pollen growth. That is the correct answer. How does ethylene influence fruit development? It promotes fruit ripening and abscission. Which hormone breaks seed dormancy and promotes germination? That is a gibberellin. Which is boron important plant fertility? Boron improves pollen germination as well as helps in the aid in the fertilization process. Which hormone, by promoting the pollen tube growth, which hormone is responsible for the development of embryos and delays senescence? That is the cytokinin. That is the correct answer. What is the role of potassium in flowering and fruiting? It regulates water balance and enhances flower and fruit quality. That's all about the objective type of questions in the plant reproduction. And if you look at the questions in all the part, from part 1 to part 6, few questions are repeatedly being asked. So that is the frequently asked questions. You concentrate on those aspects. It will be repeatedly asked or frequently asked in most of the competitive examinations. Thanks a lot, friends, for patient hearing. Please subscribe my YouTube channel and share this video, not only this video but also the other videos, to your friends as well as your WhatsApp group, and kindly give your likeness and comment on my presentation. This will be improve the further presentation or improve my presentation ability. Thank you, friends. Thank you.